Get to the morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jodie and Hazy on Nova.
Can I just ask this question? Feel free to answer honestly. Am I Karen?
Can I be honest? No comment.
Because
Depends.
I did spend the weekend thinking, oh my God, is in the words of the great Taylor Swift, is this me?
Yeah, it probably is.
It's me. Hi.
Jodie's the problem, it's you.
Because I had 3 separate incidents over the weekend where I was so triggered and angry, and I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel like I might be the common denominator.
Okay, well, this is a safe spot, okay? We can be very open and honest.
Producer
Feedback.
Zoe, I've brought you in just for a bit of support here. I'm going to tell
I'm
you
nervous.
about the 3 different instances, and you feel free to tell me if I'm overreacting. Okay? First one, kids' sport, Saturday morning, went to watch my young girl play volleyball. All right? For the second week in a row.
There's your problem.
No,
there.
come on.
I mean, that sounds so boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Worse than netball.
Volleyball's exciting. Thank you very much.
What, in Korea? Sorry, go on.
Anyway, so we're sitting there and you go upstairs to the second level in this gymnasium and you sit down with all the other parents and you're watching. Okay, the opposition parents were so irritating, and I hope they're not listening this morning, but they just had something to say about everything. And at one stage, one of them goes, they missed a point. That's not right. So she walks from the top level down to inform the scorer, you missed a score. It's actually 10, not 9.
Oh, yeah.
Outrageous. And so for the second week in a row, my husband and I can't sit next to these people, so we had to move.
Yeah, wow.
So that's Karen example number 1.
Did you confront her? Or
No,
you just
I
moved?
didn't. No.
Okay.
Bit my lip.
You're not very Karen-y, yeah?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and your husband's an ex-hockey player, so, oh, geez,
Whoa.
don't push him over the head or
Fuck.
he'll jam a hockey stick in your mouth.
He actually won't.
Pull your jumper over the top from the behind and just lay into you. Bang, bang,
No,
bang.
he's not going to do any of those things. Not off the ice anyway. Okay, Karen situation number 2. I go to get a pedicure at a nail salon and I'm sitting next to a woman who from the get-go started complaining about the fact she'd had a spray tan the day before, so she didn't want to get her legs wet. Okay.
Rookie.
Forgive me here. You do it in the reverse order.
Absolutely.
Because when you go to get a pedicure, Andrew, you put your feet in water. That's the whole, and then quite often they massage your calves.
They give you a scrub.
Correct. And she's like, you don't take my tan off. And then it got to the point where she had to select the colour for her feet. And they give you this whole thing. Anyway, she wanted white. And she's comparing 2 whites. And she's like, well, that's a more block white. So I think I like that. I'm like... And then they couldn't find the said white. And she's looking at me and she's like, oh, has anyone got the 120? And I'm like, oh, babes, I'm not in your corner. You're being an absolute pest right now. So that's Karen's situation number 2.
Wow.
Again, didn't confront her?
Didn't confront her.
Okay.
How am I looking on the Karen scale?
You're looking good.
Third Karen example was the one where I was the closest to saying something. We went to the sushi train, and for the purposes of this story, I'll replace the F word with wasabi, right?
Sure.
Makes sense.
So we're sitting there with the family, including the 12, 10, 4-year-old, me and my husband, and a big group of boys walk in. And the boys had had a big night out, hadn't they?
Here we go.
So they were drowning their hangovers with a bit of sushi.
Yeah, a bit of soy sauce.
They were like, yo, bro, I had a wasabi last night, like full, like I had a
Golly.
night.
Yeah.
He's back to back with my 4-year-old. And so Craig looks at me and he's like, don't you dare. And it got to the point I was so angry that when we left our little booth, he shielded me from their booth because he knew I was going to go right off and tell him to go wasabi himself.
I'm on your team for that one.
Yeah, that's like when
grow
you're
up, fellas.
when you're swearing like that and you've got a 4-year-old literally back to back.
Yeah. Look, I would say the fact that you didn't confront any of these people, I think you're pretty safe on the Karen scale. Not Karening. You need a nap, but
Yeah.
you're not being a Karen.
I need a nap and some hormone replacement therapy. Let's go to Kelly. When was your Karen moment? Hi.
I've had a few, but they're all to do with smoking. So I walked into the hospital, I was taking my son to the hospital, and I walked through people smoking, and I did let them have it, but I ended up getting admitted because I couldn't breathe. I had an asthma attack, and I went straight in, and my son had to wait.
That's completely fair.
Has that got anything to do with the fact that you were going off at people who were smoking? You've inhaled Several
More so.
toxins. Oh, yeah, I struggle with that. People who sort of smoke in public places like that, where you've got kids that perhaps need fresh air, clean air.
Yeah, it's a little bit different these days. It's not cool anymore. I'm sorry. Jimmy Dean's dead. All right? When Jimmy Dean used to do it back in the day, smoking a cigarette, walking down the street.
Yeah,
Jimmy Dean. Not anymore.
Nah. All right, let's go to Kerry. What was your moment, Kerry?
Hi. Yesterday I was at Kmart getting some photos printed and I could see in the screen the reflection. There was a guy standing right behind me looking at all my photos as they flashed up on the screen and it was really annoying me, and I had my kids with me and I'm sure they were probably really embarrassed, but I couldn't help myself and I turned around and I said, that's really rude to stand here and look at all my photos as they pop up.
Yeah.
And he went, ooh, and wandered off. But, you don't do that. You either stand to the side or you go look around the shop. It was just really annoying me that someone would stand there and look at all your photos as they pop up.
Yeah, spot on. I get it. It's people invading your personal space too in a retail situation, I reckon. It's also like, Hazy, when you're at the checkout, right, the 12 items or less. Yeah. And people stand right behind you, right there. Yeah. As you're scanning all your items.
So I get that as well when you're in a cafe and someone's right behind you, sort of breathing down your neck. You're like, I just need a little bit of space. Okay?
Absolutely understandable. We've got a text too. Shani said, can't tell you one example, give me a whole segment. She's Karen on the daily, particularly for school drop-off.
I would have thought the school drop-off for a lot of mums would absolutely bring out the best and worst in individuals.
Well, they set you up for failure, though, because they have, drop-off and pick-up only. Yeah. You can't control what time your kid comes out of the classroom.
Yeah, spot on. Very confusing time. John, take us through your situation at a soccer match.
Yeah, I'm taking my son to, I was on holidays, I work in retail. I watched it, your turn to take your son to soccer, so I take him. My son's playing the game, he sets up and shoots a goal. I call out, well done, son. And then you hear the father from the other side turn around and say, it's about time he sees father watch his son play soccer.
Whoa!
And I went, I was about to say something, but then father next to me said, hey, no, don't start trouble, man. Don't start trouble.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well done, John. Well done for not even saying
Walking
that.
away.
Other people in a situation like that would have walked over and probably got a little bit physical. You did very well.
Well done, John. I tell you, the school sport thing, it's a hotbed. It's a hotbed.
So I haven't entered it yet. I'm on the verge.
Oh, man, it's an eye-opener.
Wow. Okay. That volleyball community. I'll tell you what.
Well, you've offended them now, and they're going to turn on you. And you actually deserve it.
And I think, based on those calls as well, Jodes, I don't think you're a Karen.
Thank you.
You just have some Karen moments. But you're not a Karen.
Just some heavy traits.
You're not a full-time Karen. You're just part-time Karen.
Here's what you're waking up to, Adelaide.
New in the news today.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
What's in the news today?
Your post-snooze news.
One of my favourite stories of the year so far, and it's the battle that no one saw coming. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Holly Valance, former soap star, v. Greta Thunberg,
Oh, my. Yeah.
climate activist.
You're so right. I did not see that coming.
Okay, so she's gone on a show called Chris Hope. It's Chopper's political podcast. And on it, she described the 21-year-old as a little bit odd and a demonic little gremlin.
I don't understand why you have this demonic little gremlin high priestess of climatism as the goddess in classrooms, Greta. Why would you go to your music lesson or bother doing your homework or get out of bed if you think we're all going to be dead in 5 years anyway? I mean, they told me in class. Greta told me.
I can't imagine what it feels like to be called a demonic little gremlin.
I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, that hits hard.
Isn't that outrageous? Anyway, she went on to sing Donald Trump's praises as well, and she said there's no way that Australia should become a republic and that we need to stick with the royal family. All interesting thoughts from our Holly.
There you go. In Holly we trust. We've said that for a long time as well. Remember when she was Flick on Neighbours?
Oh, yeah, Flick. That was her character.
She was Felicity. And
you would have been a young man, that would have done a bit.
Yeah, and I remember watching in the boarding house and the particular episode where Steph and Flick, I think Flick hooked up with Steph's man and they were sisters.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wow, the Scullys. The Scully household. It's all coming back.
I can't believe the stuff that sits in your brain.
I can't believe I can remember that, but I can't remember the birthdays of my kids.
Newsy.
Bit of sport on the weekend as well for you?
Yes, finally our teams played in the AFL round one. If you're a Crows supporter, didn't they flirt with it in the last quarter?
Goodness me. It was the comeback no one saw coming.
Yeah, I know. At one stage, 36 points they were down in the last quarter, and then they ended up losing by just a goal. In the first half, it didn't look like they were going to score more than 3 goals.
Was it 1 goal 2?
Yeah.
For a half of footy?
Yeah, not bad. I know it wasn't a night for key forwards, but jeez, I tell you what, re-sign Taylor Walker for next year right now.
Yeah.
He's so unbelievably poor for that side.
Yeah, he's crucial, isn't he?
I'm going to speak to Tom Wren a little bit later on. He's going to wrap up the weekend of sport, but also for Port Adelaide supporters, 50 points. Yeah, you'd take that against West Coast. West Coast, they're going to be absolutely garbage again. But some good signs. What about our boy Connor Rosie? Oh, my gosh. First game as skipper. He absolutely picked up 3 Brownlow votes.
Yeah. They had some interesting audio on the coverage yesterday, and they mic'd up Ken Hinkley at training. And Ken, I don't know if it was Connor or if it was Zach Butters, but he was saying, mate, can you stop?
It would have been Zach.
Yeah, I don't want you to hurt yourself for training. He was basically pleading with him, and then he got cleaned up. And he goes, well, I'm not surprised. You just ran into that bloke who's 6'7", you idiot.
Yeah, he's like a Jack Russell.
Yeah.
Taking on a Great Dane. And you know Jack Russell's going to have a red hot crack.
Yeah, exactly right. And they're acutely unaware of how little they are.
Yes.
It's our Zach.
Lot to like yesterday in that game against West Coast. That is your post-snooze news coming up very, very soon. Jo.
Also, we'll speak about this with Tom Wren. The Jack Jumpers went down to Melbourne United in Game 1 of the NBL Finals.
Oh, they got smashed,
didn't they? Absolutely spanked.
Ooh.
Can't see them coming back from here just quietly, even on their home turf.
Really? Come on, show some faith.
I don't have a lot.
They're going to name the AFL side today as well.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Whoa. Do they have somewhere to play yet?
I think they're still working that out.
I grew up in Hobart. There ain't an abundance of stadiums.
Yeah, they're going to have to build something.
Oh.
If you've got your thinking cap, though, on, if you've got a name for the new Tassie AFL side, text it through 0400 919 919. Of course, don't say Devils. Please don't say Devils.
Devils.
You're better than that.
What are we to do? The Jack Jumpers is gone. Oh, my God. How many native Tasmanian animals are there?
96% of the country doesn't even know what a Jack Jumper is. That's fun, isn't it?
It's very true.
First question for the 6:15 vending machine quiz. Jodes is going to drop it next. What I've always wondered is the particular types of music that you listen to.
Yeah.
Whether that sort of determines what sort of person you are.
Yeah.
Like if there's some kind of link with your personality, your music preferences.
Yep.
And it turns out it is, thanks to a study done by the New York Post. Multiple studies have revealed the personality traits linked with various music genres. And when you think about it, it probably makes sense, doesn't it?
Sure does.
So this particular piece of research looked at 80,000 music fans and 50 famous musicians, and the fans were then asked to give personality ratings for the public person of each artist. Those who enjoy top 40 songs are more likely to be an agreeable person.
Okay.
Just sort of bop along.
Just happy people who like pop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And while you'd probably expect the people who listen to extreme heavy metal about violence to be precisely that, it turns out that they are no more likely to be violent themselves as they just find pure joy in the music.
Okay, really?
Here's some interesting stats, though. The study revealed that psychopaths are more likely to enjoy retro rap, including classic songs like Eminem. This song in particular, Lose Yourself. But also, No Diggity.
What?
You love this song, you psychopath. Oh my God.
That's outrageous.
It's starting to make complete sense now, isn't it?
Oh, not really.
The study also found that people who enjoyed Sia's Titanium and the Knack's My Sharona were the least likely to be psychopathic. And that makes so much sense. You're just a fun guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just a fun person if you like My Sharona. And guess what? Titanium. South Australian represent.
Yep.
Of course you like it. You're a good, non-psychopathic person.
It's good, isn't it? This is just to get you up and about. I can achieve anything. I can run through a brick wall type vibe.
Big time. Big time. No psychopathic vibes about that. This isn't part of the study. It's my own study.
Oh.
That if you like this particular song, though,
From the top, make it drop. That's so wet. That's so wet. Now get
it
up,
turns
up,
out you're just a flat-out dirty bird.
Now that's a joke.
That was a joke.
That's a joke. A joke. That's a terrible joke.
This is where we say we are led fearlessly and courageously by newsreader Abby, but unfortunately Abs is sick, so
Yeah.
she's off.
Yeah.
Who's going to step up?
Well, hopefully you do, because mine's just a little short one.
Oh.
But entertaining nonetheless.
Okay, cool. We talking jokes to your husband? Oh, see, that's what we're talking about, eh?
Oh, dear.
Your turn.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. This is a bit of a medical theme for this week.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Did you know this? This is a fact that dogs can't read MRIs, but cats can. Cats
Cat
can.
scan. Oh, okay. Yes. I get it. Cats can. And straight away my brain's like, what, have they got better eyesight to that than dogs? Cats scan. Like cat scared.
Yes.
A little play on words.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
okay. Get
Nice.
it now?
Okay. Can I take us in a much different direction then?
Sure. Is this going to be a little bit blue?
Bluish.
Okay.
Not as blue as what Abby would do.
All right.
But I'm doing it in spirit of newsreader Abby.
Okay, this is good.
Because she loves a blue joke.
It's like a homage to abs. All
big
right,
time.
go for it.
All right, teacher is teaching in class and she sees that Johnny isn't paying attention. So she asks him, hey, if there are 3 ducks sitting on a fence, Johnny, and you shoot one, how many are left? And Johnny says, well, none. But then the teacher asks, why? And Johnny says, because the shot scared them all off. And the teacher says, no, there are 2 left, but I like how you're thinking. Then Johnny asks the teacher, you see 3 women walking out of an ice cream parlour. One is licking her ice cream, one is sucking her ice cream, and one is biting her ice cream. Which one is married? And the teacher responds, well, the one sucking her ice cream. And Johnny says, no, the one with the wedding ring. But I like how you're thinking, teacher. I don't get it, by the way.
Oh, no, me either. I don't
No
understand
idea.
what just happened.
The Weekend Sports Wrap with Tom Red.
It's the one and only, the beautiful, the courageous, the versatile, sometimes flexible Tom Wren.
Sometimes flexible. Can you touch your toes?
No, I can barely touch my knees.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
no good.
Okay.
Not flexible at all.
Well, I thought you play.
I think it's more of just a result of having very short arms.
Yeah.
That's probably the problem.
You play soccer. I thought you'd be quite
Yeah,
It's
I
built
know.
like a T-Rex.
Yeah. Little arms.
It's little
Big
useless,
Jodie the love.
little useless arms. I'm
Yeah. You're fine.
not sure what those arms even do.
Oh,
Hey, Rennie, welcome. Let's go through the weekend that was for sport. Let's start with the Crows.
That could have been the game right there. The Suns are going to hold on. The Crows came late, but they didn't come enough. The Suns are 2-0 to start the season.
Oh, jeez, they nearly pinched it.
5 goals in the last term. That's the positive. They were so good at the end of the game. Josh Rochelle was outstanding. Rankin looked really dangerous. But where was the intensity and that kind of spark in the first 2.5, 3 quarters? They were so flat. And look, credit to Gold Coast, but I'm sure they're scratching their head saying, boys, surely let's bottle what we had in the final 30 minutes because what came before that was just terrible.
That was very generous. Final 30 minutes. It was like the final 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
pretty much. And
They kicked 1 goal too to
I know.
half-time.
It was the second lowest ever score to half-time. I think Hawthorn 95 was the previous lowest. They ended up winning that game, funnily enough. Look, there was a bit to like with the way they finished, but difficult conditions, just needed to start quicker, and they can't afford to do that again this Friday night.
Sometimes you sit there and you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Crow supporters watching that going, I know the conditions are horrible, but she's Taylor Walker.
Oh, the big
Didn't they
Texan.
miss him?
Oh, isn't he important? Because even
Yep.
a bloke as classy as Taylor Walker, even in those conditions, you can still see him bobbing up for at least a couple of goals.
Yeah, exactly. And just, simple things like body position, structure, all that stuff, leadership. He's such an important part of that side. Arguably still Hazy, their most important player.
Someone's pleased because they changed their tips at the last minute when they realised Tex Walker wasn't getting on the plane to
Is
the Gold
that
Coast.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
Just sort of following along on Twitter, and then when Tex failed his fitness test on Wednesday, sort of called up and just like to rearrange my tips, thanks.
See, that's usually cardinal sin number 1, isn't it, to change your tip, but that's a
Yeah.
good change.
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky you're a good bloke because that just smacks of corruption.
Oh, do you think I'm
doing
a good
that.
bloke? Love that. Hey, Rennie, let's talk about Port. Much better result.
The big thing is that Port Adelaide ticked the box. They needed the 4 points. They got the 4 points.
Yeah, there was a lot of box ticks.
Well, it was a tough day, wasn't it? I mean, so hot yesterday. They're going to need every bit of their recovery to play Richmond next Sunday. The only negative is Jed McEntee subbed out in the third quarter. He went back with a flight concussion. We'll miss at least next week, maybe 2 weeks. But that aside, they did everything they needed to. And what I really liked were their recruits. Ivan Soldo, arguably best on ground. Brendan Zerk-Thatcher, really solid. And Asava Radagalia, excellent. So that's fantastic. A big tick to their recruitment in the off-season. And they should have won that game. It's West Coast, but they did it. Move on. Now they've got to take care of the Tigers.
That did a bit for me when you said Asava Radagalia.
Just
the way you
rolled
said it.
off.
Just rolled off the tongue beautifully.
Feels right, doesn't it?
It just feels really right.
Asava Radagalia.
Oh, say it again.
Isn't that beautiful? Say it again.
Say it again. Radagalia.
Can I just spend the next 45 to an hour and a half just talking about Connor Rozee, please?
Oh,
how good was he? First game as skipper, and he dishes out a performance like that.
Yep.
Probably got, if it wasn't Ivan Soldo, probably got the 3 votes.
27 touches, 2 goals. He was brilliant. Zach Butters, 27 as well. But it seems like captaincy's, fitting him. You got all those other external things you got to worry about, media and sponsorships and everything. But probably number one business is play good footy. Do that, and everything else sort of is secondary. And that's what Connor Rozee needs to do, and that's what he's done in his first game as skipper.
Can I please do this? Because Hazy doesn't allow me to talk about the NBL, even though I love it. He's like more of an NBA type,
He likes the bling bling.
Yeah, he likes the big time. So obviously at the finals at the moment, you've got the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers up against Melbourne United. There's a bit of a war of words between the coaches at the moment, which is quite funny actually. So you've got Melbourne United coach Dean Vickerman. He inflamed the emotions of all the Tasmanian fans by saying, you know what, Scott Roth, who's the coach of Tassie, he's going to, I don't buy into any of his stuff. He's going to talk about defending his little island as much as he wants to. We're just going to go about the business, stay locked in and try and win a championship. So defend the island has been the mantra of the Jack Jumpers ever since their inception, right? So then he's hit back and had this to say to the Melbourne United coach.
The Tasmania seems to be the butt of every joke. People want to punch down at that place. And when I went down there, they said, you're not going to succeed down there. And my 3 years have been nothing but love from that whole community.
Well, there you go. Fighting words. That's what they are.
I like it. And it's 1-0 at the moment to United in the best of 5 series they won yesterday, but that could galvanise the Jack Jumpers. And I think anyone outside of the neutrals watching on are probably going for Tassie, aren't they?
I think everyone loves an underdog. Melbourne United are a bit of a powerhouse. But I will say this. People who knock Tasmania, there's a special place in hell for them.
That is so true. And I like this little war of words because it's turning a lot of heads down there. A lot of people down there are getting both their heads turned off the back of this conversation. It's only because you're a beautiful Tasmanian, Jones. You take it so personally.
I do. It's a beautiful little island, and I had a relatively decent childhood down there.
Don't mention the war.
Oh, Tom Wren, thank you so much for joining us and allowing me to talk NBL.
No, it was good.
Before we let you go, Rennie,
yes.
You know the drill. It's a Monday morning joke off.
Well, how does the moon cut his hair?
How's that?
He clips it.
That's what it's all about. Well played, Tom.
That's the best reaction I think I've had.
Every now and then, as a man, you sit there and you think, wow, what would I do in a particular situation, like a really confronting situation? Would I man up or would I just squirm out the back like a little weasel and forever feel like an absolute pussycat? Do you know what I mean? So,
for example, if you were to be confronted with someone who wanted to fight.
Yes. Okay. Or if your family was in danger.
Yes.
Say someone intruded into your house.
Yeah.
I saw this study on the weekend, which I found very, very entertaining, but also like, I wonder what sort of category I've been. It turns out that almost 10% of men think that if they got into a fist fight with a lion, that they would win. with an actual lion.
Yeah, but you may have seen that meme. In fact, I think I sent it to your wife where there's a woman standing at the kitchen sink and that's a thought bubble. So there's 15 different thoughts about, I've got to do the kids' homework, I've got to pack the lunches, I've got to do this, I've got to do this for work, blah, blah, blah. And then it flips to a man. It was like, could I take on a bear in a fight?
Yeah, spot on.
Is this a thing?
Yeah. Absolutely is the thing. So not only do we think about it, we think, what are our chances of actually winning? And would I be brave enough to even take part in it?
Okay. All valid questions.
So there was a particular moment in my household quite recently which I'm not proud of at all.
Yeah.
You always wonder in a split moment, say if someone broke into your house and you came face to face.
Wow.
What would you do?
Wow.
I think most blokes have thought about this. And blokes say, look, I've got weapons under the bed, or, I'd punch him in the face and I'd grab him, I'd tie him up, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
The other night, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning and it was stinking hot.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I was asleep, but I don't think I was fully asleep. And when you wake up and you get startled and there's that sort of moment in between reality where you're still sort of half asleep.
Yep.
There was one particular moment where the mirror, and it's a big mirror in our room, fell off.
Oh, no.
So it was attached to the wall and it completely fell off, so much so that when it hit the ground, 1, it's smashed, and then 2, it's fallen front ways, so then it's smashed again.
Right.
So there was a small moment, like a really, really small moment, where I genuinely thought that we were getting broken into.
Yes.
So I'm in bed with my wife and my 3-year-old daughter who still sleeps with us.
Yeah.
And in my moment where I'm really tested on whether I'm going to be a man or not and whether I'm going to protect the family, this is basically all that came out of my mouth. It was dead set a moment. It was dead set moment. I thought we were on here. And instead of jumping out of bed and jumping into a fighting position, all I could do was go, and I had my wife, Cara, literally say to me, "Oi, calm down." It's just the mirror that's fallen off the wall. And then the next day, I think at one stage, a little bit of time had passed, and then Cara had to say, "Hey, can we just address your reaction to the mirror falling off the wall last night?" I think Cara was ready to go. Like, she cocked her fist and she was ready to go. And I was in the corner hiding behind my 3-year-old daughter.
Oh my God, I'm in tears. Do you know the worst part about this story is you put that mirror on the wall and you thought you did a great job.
Yeah, on top of that as well. Jeez, what a guy. Not handy and also an absolute pussy. Big, significant day for a special part of the world that you're involved with.
Yes, that I grew up in. So Tasmania's AFL club will officially be launched this evening. It's going to be a historic moment in the state's sporting history. They've been pushing it for decades, it seems. Yeah. So the club's colours, nickname, jumper design, logo and branding will all be unveiled at 5:30 this evening.
Okay.
And it's exciting. And I will say this to you, and I'm going to look you in the eye. Yeah. Play nicely, please.
What do you mean play nicely?
Don't be the way you normally are.
Don't be you? Is that what you're saying?
Try not to be you in this space. And I can't help but notice you've got the whole gang in here as well.
Oh, because you work well as a team.
Okay.
We said before, let's put our heads together, multiple heads on one body together, and let's work out what would be the best nickname for the Tasmanian side. We also put it out there as well, 0400 919 at 919. Nothing's off limits, and I'm not sure about
there's
this
plenty off limits.
Yeah.
There is plenty. So who's going to kick us off here? Who's going to start the pile on?
Someone texted through and said the Tassie 2 heads, and I just wasn't sure about it. Like right off the bat,
Why'd
I thought,
you ding it then?
I didn't really, I didn't really understand it.
Why'd you endorse it then?
What do you mean?
You just press the tick sound effect.
How do you know I press all the buttons?
Right, so that's all right.
Okay, well, let's go around. We're spitballing here. There's no such thing as a bad idea. Let's go to camera guy Josh, who is very good at coming up with logos and all things creative. Josh, what do you think the Tasmanian side should be called?
How about the Tasmanian Blended Bloodlines?
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Josh, what do you think of that? That's actually not bad.
I expected better from you. I wanted more.
I think that's top shelf. I think that's something that Andrew Dillon and the guys at AFL House should strongly consider.
Okay.
What about you, producers? Are your thoughts?
Oh, just a few up, but maybe the Mighty Fighting Freudians.
Oh!
Could work.
Rolls off the tongue.
Doesn't it?
That could absolutely work. I've got a couple for you, Jodes. And just bear in mind, get ready to write these down as well.
Yeah.
And text through to Andrew Dillon. What about the Tassie sexy siblings? Does that work at all? Maybe the Tassie cute cousins? Extension of that, the Tassie Kissing Cousins.
Nice use of alliteration there,
Yeah.
Hazy.
Well, they've finally just rounded out. What about the Tassie Mums Your Dads? They're all ideas. Just watch this space.
Oh, look at AFL House just light up.
It's going to be the bloody Devils, isn't it?
I know.
We're going back in time. Hazy's on this Daisy.
Oh, welcome to beautiful, manic, sexy Monday. That's right. You just grab Monday by the forehead and just right in the middle.
Little smooch.
Yeah. Show it some love, and maybe Monday will love you back.
Say hello, Monday. Be kind to me.
Let's take a little trip down memory lane, shall we? It's Monday the 18th of March. On this day, 1995, I'm just going to say the greatest movie of all time premiered. That is Dumb and Dumber, starring Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. It opened in Aussie cinemas. That's a lovely accent you have there. New Jersey, Austria. Well, good day, mate.
Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
Everyone's got one. Text through your favourite part from Dumb and Dumber. Just an iconic movie. Deserves several Oscars. 1944, Big Bertha, the world's oldest cow, was born in Ireland. They just built a little bit different, those Irish cows. Yeah. She lived to be 49 years old and birthed 39 calves by the end of it. This is the sound she was making. So there's another one.
Oh, that's how I felt after my fourth baby.
Yeah.
Just the one big Jersey cow.
Yeah. Your nickname was Big Bertha too, wasn't it?
You didn't say that.
I was like, do I or don't I? And I did it, and now the consequences are coming.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, Andrew Hayes.
Oh, no, I'm in trouble. 2005, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody premieres on the Disney Channel, starring Dylan and Cole Sprouse. I wasn't really a fan of anything on the Disney Channel back in the day.
Oh, people say it's really good, though, these days. Great for kids.
Yeah? Okay.
Cool.
Number one song on March 18th in 2006, Stupid Girls by Pink. It's another one of her little anthems.
Do you remember when she was on the treadmill and she's running next to that girl with big overinflated boobs?
Oh, in the video clip.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, wow.
Just the big boob part.
Was her name Big Bertha?
Like big teats.
Stupid girl, stupid girl.